Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the We Know Traders podcast over here on RHAP. I'm your host, the Duke of Deception, Pooya and Vakili, ready to once again bring in a brand new day with a brand new person from this season's Traitors US, season 4, of course, where we are on the preseason journey to the premiere, January 8th, 3 episodes, one night. Get ready, get excited. But before we get there, we have to talk about and learn about every single person who is on this cast to make sure we're good and ready. And today we're venturing into the world of the Bachelor franchise, home of some memorable people that have been on this show before. We had Pilot Pete, we've had Gabby, who was on last season and won the whole damn thing, mind you. And we are here today with the expert, the utmost expert in the Bachelor Bachelorette franchises. It's the one only Haley Strong to talk about Colton today. Haley, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm excited to talk to you. Colton might be a different story for me.
Yeah, this is interesting. So Colton's someone who I'm very unaware of, but is someone whose name I have heard and whose name I've heard get brought up in different places, but not to my recollection in a positive manner.
Yeah, so he's had quite an interesting journey. When he was announced as the Bachelor, he wasn't necessarily like a fan favorite from the previous season. To really get into the weeds of things, like at that point in Bachelor franchise, we were really hoping for a Black Bachelor. We were hoping after, like, I can't remember, he might have been the 23rd, 24th. We were hoping after 23 seasons, we are finally going to have a Black male lead as the franchise, like as the lead of this franchise. I can't quite remember. I feel like in Becca's season, where Colton came from, there was a couple people who were more interesting cases. But if there's one thing the Bachelor franchise loves, that's a former NFL player. And Colton was that. He also kind of had this interesting hook that he was a virgin. And so he was deemed the Virgin Bachelor. And I would say the standout point from his season was the fence jumping moment. It was played in every trailer, every commercial, everything, where he jumped over a fence because he was so upset that his number one decided to leave. He then went to her hotel room, knocked on her door, and said, like, what if we just keep hanging out? She's like, I don't want to get married. He's like, cool. They ended up leaving the season together. They dated for a while. They had a pretty messy ending, which I don't think I'm going to dive into here. It's easily findable.
Okay.
He then, congratulations to him, came out as gay. He had a Netflix special about it. He has also done like a number of reality shows since then. I am not surprised he's here on the Traitors. He is just not the person I would pick to represent the Bachelor franchise, because there's like so many great people from the Bachelor franchise that could be here. He's just like not my number one draft pick here. And because he was the Bachelor quite a while ago.
Yeah, I feel like he is like, I'm someone who doesn't know anything about the franchise. So if you had told me, hey, fill 3 names that are going to be likely on, I would put him on mine just because he's one of the more recognizable names for sure.
I think that's fair. He's really been doing the rounds of this type of reality show. I think he was on Special Forces. It's not on his Wikipedia page, but I remember that being the case, and maybe he wasn't, but I feel like he was. He was on like The Masked Singer, and he's here, which is kind of, he's here.
He was on The Masked Singer?
Allegedly. Oh yeah, he was on season 11 of The Masked Singer. Allegedly.
Allegedly, I may have covered that season. So it may have slipped my mind. Who was he in season 11 of The Masked Singer?
Oh, let's look. Let us look.
Oh, was he not also on Beyond the Edge? Was that the one?
Oh, maybe. He was on something that I did, like he was on something.
The Lovebird. Who was the Lovebird? Oh, you know what? I remember now. Never mind. It's all coming back to me.
That's just good, clean family.
Okay. Right there. Yeah. So he's made his rounds. And now he finds himself on the Traitors. Yeah, it was Beyond the Edge was the show that he was on, not Special Forces, or maybe both. But he won Beyond the Edge, actually.
All right, it's all coming back. It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, he straight up won. Well, what's interesting is the final 3 were all NFL players, former NFL players. With Mike Singletary and Ray Lewis being the other 2. So, okay, so Colton wins. Congratulations. And then that's it. The show was canceled after that. I had 1 season only.
Crazy. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is when you said Special Forces, there's like 3 shows that I keep confusing with each other always. And I know there's more than one of them, but I always rope them all in together. So this was that. Okay, so now let's talk about him being on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Haley, how do you think he will fare on a show like The Traitors?
I think he's going to be a little out of his element here. I think he has no issue with the physicality of a game. I think he might have problems with the mind game of it all.
Okay.
He has done some other programs that have primed him for this, but I don't think he'll be on the level of some of these like heavy hitters. And kind of, I don't know if there's like a lot of crossover of people he's been on other shows with. Like it doesn't really seem like it to me that he's had like, oh, I saw you backstage at the Masked Singer, because they keep that pretty under wraps, do they not?
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So I don't know if he's made like a lot of connections. I don't know if he does reality TV events and is like rubbing elbows with those people, because the Bachelor franchise is just so different from the reality true game franchises. Like those, I feel like those players don't mix as much.
So you said he's not gonna fare well with the mind games of it all. What do you?
I don't think
What
so.
do you think he's easily like he'll be deceived easily, or will he just not be able to handle the pressure cooker nature of this game?
I think I think he'll be deceived easily.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a Bachelor lead that, this is just me speculating, he was probably chosen because he was probably the easiest to manipulate. Okay. He had a hook, but he was probably the easiest to be like, well, Colton, just do that. Oh, Colton, like, oh, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of one of those guys who just goes along with it. So I don't know if he has the ability to discern people's intentions.
Okay.
And maybe he does now, since he's been The Bachelor and he's been through all these other shows. But I just don't think those skills are honed like so many other people on this list.
So it's safe to say you see him being a faithful then.
Very much so. It didn't even cross my mind that he'd be a traitor, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then here's the cast. To your point, there's no other Bachelor Nation representative here. I did check his Beyond the Edge cast. None of them are here, or no one from any of those grouping, like no one from like Housewives was there either for him to have like an intro there. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to quickly look at the Masked Singer to see if anyone would be, because like, maybe there's a big Masked Singer group chat. But I'm not seeing anybody here that who would be like a connective tissue for him to meet someone here. So he's coming in relatively on an island here, but probably going to be a known entity. Like probably people are going to recognize him, right?
You think? I think maybe they won't. I know for a fact Rob will, because Rob specifically loved the fence jumping moment. I wonder.
And he watched Rob covered Beyond the Edge. Oh, okay. Also.
So I wonder if he just, like, Colton doesn't have a ton of appeal to other sectors. Maybe Mark knows who he is because there's been so many bachelorettes on Dancing with the Stars. Oh,
that's a great point.
Colton
is not he's not been. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not been on it.
I know. So I'm trying to figure. I feel like Michael Rappaport will probably know who he is. I feel like he has a good finger on the pulse of all of reality TV.
They've
Like,
both been on Masked Singer also.
yeah,
So
but like, is Lisa Rinna like paying attention to the Bachelor franchise from like 8 years ago? Like, I don't think so.
see, the thing is, I don't know. Like, I sometimes wonder what it's like to be a reality TV celeb to the caliber of like a Lisa Rinna or Colton, because it's like, do all of you kind of know about each other and the other franchises that are having drama, or
Yeah.
are you just more honed in on your own like realm?
Yeah, I guess it's
So
hard for us to comprehend that because we're so deep in it and we like can see the connective tissues and like,
yeah.
but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like we talk. The thing is, like, even if we're not like, for example, even if I'm not watching, I do watch Love Island, but let's say for argument's sake, I don't watch Love Island or I don't watch Bachelor. You do, Kirsten does, so I'll get the lowdown. I'll find it
Mhm.
out through the grapevine. But I don't know how many articles are coming up on like, do they have alerts set up for just reality TV drama, and then they'll see everything? I don't know.
Like, does Donna Kelsey know a single other person on this cast? Like, does she?
So that's going to be interesting because she is, from what I've seen, a big fan of the Traitors. So now I'm like,
Okay,
okay, so
cool.
you've done your show homework, but then did you do your like which of these shows have you watched or do you watch? Like if she gets a confession, like, I love Big Brother, like okay, wow, get her on the recap. Like what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, so Colton faithful, Colton coming in
Faithful.
relatively unknown.
Yeah,
And
I think he would maybe have a good chance creating
mhm,
alliances with the other people who are kind of in the same boat as him of like being islands. So like the Michael Rappaports, the Donna Kelseys, where even like because like the other people I can see in factions. So we have like the Bravo faction and like even Kristen, I think, is involved in that. I think Kristen has a really good finger on. I know we're not doing Kristen's podcast. We're doing like she has a great finger on the pulse of Bravo celebrities. She
mhm.
is in that universe. She knows it. Maybe Rob R. Like I don't know how much reality TV this guy's watching while wrangling snakes.
See, Robar is the one where I'm like, I do not think he's gonna know anybody. I don't think I
No.
don't think he has his alerts on for reality news. And I think he's gonna be recognized by a lot of people. So
Yeah,
maybe
I
he
think
is who
Colton.
Colton might
I
we
think
thought
Colton's
might
gonna
be.
know of quite a few of these people. I
Mhm.
could see him doing his homework for this.
Okay.
But I don't know if other people are going to actively want to work with him
Yeah.
based on his reputation of jumping over the fence.
So we saw Pilot Pete come into the franchise and really become the lead detective on the faithful side. Set up a great trap, ultimately sacrifice himself for the good of the faithfuls, which is a choice, but valid, sure. Then we had Gabby last year, who comes in, really has a good thing going, good alliance, tight alliance going with Carolyn, riding that out for a hot minute. Then her and Dylan really lock in as the two number one faithfuls left on the board, and they lead the faithfuls to victory. And now we have Colton. So historically, for me, the Bachelor Nation, they've done pretty decent now.
Sure. And Ari in season 1 also did excellently.
Oh, yes, he made it very far also. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made it all the way until he decided to be pouty about it. So
Yeah.
that might be why I forgot about him. Yeah,
But what happened to Wells last season?
we don't talk about Wells, Haley. We don't. That's a sore spot for me. I'm still sad about it because I was
And you
very
know
excited
what?
for him.
I did Wells' podcast last year. So I
Yes.
wonder if I'm the curse.
So you're saying if Colton leaves early,
It's my fault.
it's your fault?
Yeah.
Then what you're telling me is next season, if there's someone I don't really like, I should call you up
Call
for.
me. Yeah. I'll figure it out.
That would be that would just be a coincidence. Let's be real. Although
Really?
this is the exact type of superstition that Liana would lead herself to believe.
I'm also very superstitious.
Yeah, she stopped watching Vikings games because they keep losing every time she watches them. So
Pooya, what? Oh, I thought this was a new reality show, but we're talking about the
no.
Minnesota Vikings. I was like,
Yeah.
what is Viking games? Like, I haven't heard of it.
Well, it's on season 4. You haven't heard of this show already?
Listen,
Viking.
you're telling me, okay, somebody's gonna put that in development now. They're like Viking games. Yeah, how could we not have thought
I'm sorry,
this
we've
before?
had something called buddy games before. We're not that far away from Viking games happening.
That might be interesting, actually.
I feel like it could be a good cross between what was that other show that Tough as Nails. It could be like a cross between Tough
Oh
as
my
Nails and
God.
Buddy Games. It's like wintry and harsh. Yeah, I had to shovel today. It was not fun. Anyway, so that's about everything with Colton here. So, Colton is I believe he's a podcaster now, right? He's a
I'm not sure about a podcast. I do know he is hosting a show with other former Bachelor alum, Caitlin Bristow. I think it's called. I think it's like Virgin Island or Do You Want to Do It or like First Time Somethings where like everyone on the cast is virgins. I'm not making this up. This is a real.
I looked it up.
Okay.
Colton does have a podcast.
Okay. Who doesn't? Am I right?
He also, yeah, exactly. He had, how old is this podcast? 50 episodes. Okay. The podcast is called Daddyhood. And
yes, I believe
Colton,
him and his husband have a baby now.
As he explores his journey from fertility to watching his baby take their first steps during this year, and they do have a lot of episodes here. Not too bad on the ratings too. Doing a cheeky little 4.3. So genuinely could be worse. But no, okay. And I did notice just looking at these, just off rip, one of the top 5 latest podcasts, Chriselle, who was on last season's Traitors, was a guest. So I think you were right about the homework. I can only imagine he would have hit up a couple people to get some like things answered.
Yeah, I think he will have done homework. I just don't know if he'll be able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, it's to be seen. So I know you're thinking you may be cursed, but my other question is, do you think genuinely that how far do you think Colton will go? I guess is what I'm asking you.
I think he's like perfect fodder for that early part of the game, but I don't think he's I don't think he'll be like first out. Like I don't think he'll be first murdered or first voted out. But I could see him not making it to the midpoint of the game because I feel like you just lose a lot of people like pretty easily in that first, like the second quarter of the game. I guess I could see him being second quarter.
Okay, yeah, because I feel like what happened last year, it was like I think I left the previews being highest on Wells's like overall characteristics to do well in the game.
My
I think
bad.
you also felt similarly.
Yeah,
and then he went out early. Now you're saying maybe doesn't make it to the mid game. Second half of the first act, he's out.
Gonna win. Yeah, he's gonna
gonna win the whole damn thing, and he's gonna be the traitor. Yeah, that'd be wild. So okay, that's gonna be incredible. Haley, is there anyone else you want to touch on real quick here before we start wrapping things up?
I'm so excited to see Kristen here. I'm a big Top Chef person.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen is so smart and so cool, and she's the host of Top Chef now. And I think some people might forget that she like competed on it. She's like been a game show contestant. And I had the honor of seeing her IRL last year, and she is so stunning. So stunning that I think everyone on this cast will be taken with her. There's just like a lot of people I'm excited to see here. I think Mark is a fun addition. I'm a big Dancing with the Stars girly. Obviously, our Survivor contingent. How could we, not be excited about that? Especially Rob. Natalie, I'm excited to see back. I think we've got a fun collection of housewives that could really form a coalition here. So interesting to me. And honestly, when I first heard the cast, I think a real standout for me was Tara and Johnny because they were best friends. And actually, Johnny was on Dancing with the Stars. I don't think Mark was a pro that season, but he was Johnny was on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just am really excited to see how these webs weave because there's so many different strands here.
Yeah, I think we're going to be in for a fun season. It's a very dynamic group they've put together. I do think that there's a world where they switch their traitor picks around and we're not going to get the samey CBS people at the wheel.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong, but I definitely could see that happening, especially with the Housewives really getting an early exit last year. Dorinda being brought back, being like, no, you will have her moment. So we'll see how it all plays out. January 8th is the date to mark, folks. 3 episodes premiering a night 1 there, and then the week after it'll be 2 episodes. Then we're down to regular content from there, week in, week out. but the slate of podcasts will remain hefty and nice for you all the way throughout. Haley, thank you so much for coming on here and talking about Colton with us. Let the people know where they can find you and what projects you've got out there.
Yeah, I'm in between podcast seasons right now. So if you happen to watch this last season of The Golden Bachelor, boy, do we have a full season of coverage for that. And in a couple months' time, we'll be covering the new season of The Bachelorette, which we're pretty excited about. They're taking a really new direction on that franchise too. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. And Top Chef was in Canada this past season. We have a full slate of coverage for that. I even got to attend the Restaurant Wars event. So you can hear all about that. And I read a lot of books, and I have a Bookstagram account. It's called At the Strong Library. And I rate and review all the books I read.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Haley. Y'all can, of course, find me on all socials at Pooyaism, twitch.tv/Pooya. That's where I'm going to be when I'm not podcasting. And this season, that's where I'm going to be every Thursday to watch the episode as it drops with you all so we can critique Rob live. We want to get one chance to do this. We're going to do it right, y'all. So make sure you check me out there. Otherwise, for other podcasts, check out the 90 Day Fiance podcast and Pooya and Liana Lounge every week, ready at your fingertips. The other thing I will add is Traitors season is not just the US for me, because January 1st is the start of Traitors UK season 4. So that's going to go hand in hand. If you're not subscribed to this feed, make sure you do so, just so that you get all of that ready when it is time to drop. I do appreciate y'all hanging out here with us today. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new person to speak on. But until then, take care. Have a good one.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.